It's a quiet night in Florence, Italy. The year is 1505. The city sleeps. The cobblestone streets lie empty, their surfaces glistening faintly from an earlier rain. In the distance, a cathedral bell tolls once, then silence. But in a small, cluttered workshop tucked away in the heart of the city, one man is awake. He is hunched over a wooden table, his long fingers stained with ink and paint. Scattered across the table are sketches of human muscles, flying machines, and strange devices no one in the world has ever seen before. His eyes, sharp, restless, scan his work with an intensity that refuses to fade. This man is Leonardo da Vinci. And unlike the rest of Florence, Leonardo doesn't sleep through the night. He doesn't believe in wasting that many hours. Instead, every 2 hours, day and night, he closes his eyes for just 20 minutes. No long nights of deep slumber. No lazy mornings. Just tiny fragments of rest enough, in his mind, to keep his body alive while his genius never sleeps. Tonight, we're going to step into his world. To explore how one of history's greatest minds lived without a normal night's sleep, and whether this strange routine helped him become the legend we know today. To understand Leonardo's obsession with time, you need to understand the world he was born into. Italy in the late 15th and early 16th centuries was a place of fierce competition. It was the Renaissance, a rebirth of art, science, and human potential. Cities like Florence, Milan, and Venice were cultural battlegrounds, each trying to outshine the other with art, architecture, and innovation. Patrons like the Medici family were pouring fortunes into artists and inventors. If you wanted to survive as a creative, you needed to stand out. You needed to be exceptional. Leonardo was not from nobility. He was the illegitimate son of a notary and a peasant woman. But from an early age, he showed a fascination with everything: the movement of water, the anatomy of birds, the mechanics of gears. He wanted to learn it all, to understand how the world worked. Time, to Leonardo, was precious. Wasting hours asleep when there was so much to explore felt like a crime against nature itself. So, how did Leonardo actually sleep? Accounts from his notebooks and biographers suggest he followed a polyphasic sleep schedule, a pattern in which sleep is broken into multiple short naps throughout the day rather than one long block at night. Specifically, Leonardo is said to have adopted a cycle where he slept for 20 minutes every 2 hours, totaling about 2 to 3 hours of sleep per day. Imagine this: it's midnight. He pauses from dissecting a cadaver in a candlelit room, closes his eyes for 20 minutes, then wakes and continues sketching. At 2 a.m., he does it again. At 4 a.m., once more. This routine repeats endlessly: 6 a.m., 8 a.m., 10 a.m. all through the day and night. Why would anyone do this? For Leonardo, it was simple. More waking hours meant more time to create. While others wasted a third of their lives unconscious, he was inventing flying machines, painting masterpieces, and filling thousands of pages with ideas centuries ahead of his time. Modern scientists call this extreme form of sleep deprivation the Übermensch schedule. It's not something most people can endure. But Leonardo wasn't most people. Let's walk through one of his days. The sun is rising over Florence. Leonardo has already been awake for hours, sketching mechanical devices, giant crossbows, perpetual motion machines. He steps outside into the morning air, glancing up at the Duomo's dome glowing in the early light. By mid-morning, he's in the studio painting. His brush moves slowly, deliberately. He's not one to rush art. Hours pass, but he never seems to tire. When his apprentices ask how he keeps going, he just smiles faintly and mutters something about resting when necessary, not when expected. At noon, while others eat lunch and take breaks, Leonardo disappears into a quiet corner, closes his eyes for 20 minutes, and returns refreshed. He spends the afternoon dissecting a human arm in the hospital morgue, studying muscles and tendons with obsessive detail. He records everything in his mirror-written notebooks, writing backward so only he can easily read them. Evening falls. The city lights up with torches, but Leonardo's workshop remains the brightest spot on the street. He tests a new glider design, models carved from thin wood and cloth, then laughs quietly when it fails. Failure doesn't bother him, it's just another step forward. At midnight, while Florence sleeps, Leonardo is still awake, eyes fixed on a blank canvas. He dips his brush into paint, and slowly, a smile forms on his lips. He has an idea. But such a lifestyle has a cost. Polyphasic sleep can wreak havoc on the human body. Modern studies show that long-term sleep deprivation impairs memory, weakens the immune system, and shortens lifespan. Did Leonardo suffer because of his sleep habits? Some historians believe he did. His letters mention headaches, exhaustion, and occasional strange moods. There are accounts of him abandoning projects midway through, perhaps because he was simply too drained to finish. Yet, somehow, he kept going. Driven by curiosity, by an insatiable hunger to know everything. Maybe he was lucky. Or maybe his genius was so consuming that even sleep couldn't stand in its way. Centuries later, scientists, artists, and inventors still marvel at Leonardo's output. The Mona Lisa, The Last Supper, anatomical sketches accurate enough to teach modern medicine, flying machines, hydraulic systems, his work touched nearly every field imaginable. Would he have achieved all this if he had lived a normal life, with 8 hours of sleep each night? We can't say for sure. But one thing is certain, Leonardo da Vinci saw time differently. For him, every minute asleep was a minute not spent discovering the secrets of the universe. Tonight, as you close your eyes, perhaps you'll think of him, the man who chose to sacrifice dreams of the night, for the dreams of the day. Good night.